Good afternoon, everyone, or it's good evening, everyone. Today we have Shakeeb with us, Shakeeb M, who is a mobile app developer and also a software architect. He's also having a 6-year plus experience in the field, and he also holds numerous positions in various companies. He's the CTO of Playspots and also lead mobile engineer at Buy Me a Coffee, and iOS engineer at brew.com, and also the technical lead of Softfruit Solutions. Over to you, sir. You can start your session from here, and I welcome you on behalf of Testvox and everyone else here to this wonderful session. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nihal. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, already Nihal said about me. I'm Shakeeb. My native place is Nilambur. So yeah, I am working as CTO of Playspots app, also working for Buy Me a Coffee, which is a startup from US based startup. So here I am. I would like to talk about the relationship. Actually, my topic name is like publishing a mobile app into App Store, from development to publishing. Also, there is I need to include how mobile app developer is work with a tester, how the collaboration of mobile app developer and a tester give us good, productive, and very elegant, very reliable app to the market. So yeah, let's start with the PPT I have. Okay. Yeah, there's an intro. So actually, we cannot imagine a tech without a mobile app development team. For every company nowadays, for every company, a mobile app development team is a must. I think when I start this career, is mobile app development it's just a optional one. Every company, every tech team will focus on web app development and some Java based applications and so on. But I actually watched the growth of the mobile app development and the importance of mobile app development nowadays. So to publish a good app productively with less error and more performance, that's important. Also, it's within a timeline. App developer cannot achieve with himself or herself. We need a team of QA who has a good knowledge on mobile app development and enthusiastic on new updates can achieve this. A correlation with QA and app developer. Yeah, let's say what are the topics to include this session. So first of all, we need to understand the mobile app development. You may say like why we need to understand as a tester, why we need to understand the environment, tech environment. But it's important actually because for every environment, for every platform, there is a possibility of finding errors specifically for the OS or for the platform. So a basic knowledge about these platforms is necessary for you actually. Also, we need to keep up to date with the trends and with the new OS release, new platform release. Without that, we cannot know what is new in what is new, what is the new trends and what changes has happened since the last update. So you need to keep up to date. So another important point is Android versus iOS, because actually in these days only two platforms that is existing, technically existing, only these two OSs for us, Android or iOS apps. We cannot say Windows app, but that is deprecated and Symbian is deprecated, and there is some platforms that they say new OS like Amazon Fire OS or some OSs like that, but that's actually based on Android, but that is not an independent OS. So basically, these two OS operating systems are available now. Also, we need to up to date with these version changes. From one version to another, there is a lot of updates coming. By understanding that, you can understand you can know how the app performance will be look like, how the new changes, why how these changes are affecting our app's performance. Also, the screen change is another important point, because from lower screen size to higher screen size, the app's performance and its display capability, everything has maybe there will be issues according to the screen sizes. Also, we need how to know how to build a better UI. Actually, this is a very important topic for a UI developer, designer, UI UX designer, but it's also important for a tester, because for the end product always in the hand of tester, because by approval of a QA, only after this approval this product is going to hit the market. So before that, he can analyze and he can alter, he can suggest the possible ways to make the app better by these terms. Also, identify the possible bugs. I think it's a I think that area you already familiar in a, because identifying bugs is the primarily identifying bugs is the role of tester, but we can understand, we can analyze what the possibilities of creating bugs, what is the possibilities, especially mobile app, what are the common scenarios or happening, and how to reproduce that and these things. Finally, a mobile app developer vs QA. It's a as I said earlier, the combination of mobile app developer plus QA will make a better app, a productive app. So yeah, let's go to next. Yeah, so understanding mobile app development, app environment. Building a better app need a thorough understanding on mobile app development environments, because we need to understand the environments. Basically, in the case of OS, I already said there is Android and iOS. That is popular. There is a lot of differences and similarities between these OSs. We can discuss that. Also, another important point is these mobile apps, native, hybrid web apps. That is most common terms that we are using actually. Native apps, basically what we are saying about native is those apps are strictly made by the actual platform, actual environment that is provided by the manufacturer or the developer. For example, for iOS developer, there is Apple provided a software toolkit which name is Cocoa Toolkit, and they provided an IDE Xcode. They provided an interface builder. So we can use for iOS development using this Xcode and this all native framework. Also the native language also, because iOS for iOS, Apple suggests to use Swift and Objective-C. Basically, Swift is a modern language, and for an Android, there is Kotlin and Java. So when we according to tester, if a native and hybrid application that developed, there will be differences, and also some bugs that's possibly happen to in hybrid compared to native, because native is always perfect one, because it is directly under the guidelines of the manufacturer. So it will be always perfect. But when it comes to hybrid development, for example, React Native or Flutter, some APIs, some hardware environment, it is not accessible for hybrid. There is a possibility for that. So you need to understand why this is working. The developer may say this is because this is a hybrid app, so a camera module has some problem. So to analyze what is the hybrid, you need to understand that. That's all. Also, some wearable TV IoT devices. There's a combination of this is very popular now, because for home appliances, we have Google Home, Apple Home, everything. So collaborating with this environment, we can control our air condition using Google Assistant. You may get the app to control an air condition via Wi-Fi. So there is a possibility of TV applications nowadays. Android TV and iOS TV is so common. So you may get an app that is working on TV. That's a future. That's a future actually. But you may get that. Also, IoT devices. Also, there is a lot of IoT devices are now in market. So that's a possibility. Also, there is web versus mobile comparison. When you develop some apps via web, when you test a web application, you can this going like this back button, this forward, this search, all feature. But when it comes to mobile app, features will be same. When you compare Facebook in mobile, Facebook in web, there is all features will be there, but some extra interactions and extra navigations will be in mobile. Also, some extra features will be in some backward possibilities are in web also. So when you test a web application, then you comes to mobile application, you need to identify why this feature is there, why this feature is working is in there, and so on. Yeah. Then next is keeping up to date with the new trends. New trends in the case of a mobile app environments, changes are very drastically. You can find a new update in every month or every single day. There will be an update, new OS, new update patches, new software updates. There is no such thing in desktop or web app. In web there may be, but in a desktop there will be an update within 1 year or 6 months extra. So by understanding these OS releases, you can understand new features, new technologies, new updates that is coming for mobile app. So the client may require, we need this feature. He said he may see that using WWDC event or Google I/O Summit. Developer also researched about it, and he started working on that. But he did not know how this thing will be going to production, because that is a new technology. New technology will always cause problems, lack of resources and lack of sample examples and there. So for a tester, they may be aware about, they should be aware about these new features. We can check about some examples, like also for new device launches is also a big update, because you may know, for before iOS iPhone 10, there is the app iPhone shape and its edges and its top notch. Nothing is common when it compared to iPhone 10. There is a lot, entire new device and a new structure, new resolution. Everything is new. As a mobile app developer, I faced a lot of challenges while we are switching an app from iOS 8, iPhone 8 to iPhone 10. because that notch is new for us. Because of that notch, some taskbar term, some navigation bar may not see. After that, same notch started appearing in Android also. Also, some it's also cause problems. Also, you should aware about new design UX trends, new design patterns, new UX. Also, you can refer official apps of Google and Facebook. Also, you can refer the popular apps like Netflix or Instagram or Pinterest. Those applications will will bring a revolution. Then the others will copy that applications. That's a usual trend. When an application go into it, and that everyone started copying them. After that, a lot of team will have the same feature. From I think from 2013 or something, Chathead, Facebook introduced Chathead. After that, Chathead is very popular. A lot of team he started implementing same. So that's. Then Android versus iOS. I already said about that. Features of Android OS and its specialties. That's a very important thing. Also in iOS. Also, this Android versus iOS is also important because the users who is a fan of iOS, he has certain requirements. He did not have actually an iOS app has did not have a hardware back button, right? An iOS phone has no hardware back button, but Android has. But when we produce a design which has a back button, which did not have a back button in this UI, and we use same design for Android and iOS, there is a problem. Also, the drop down for an Android user, the in-hand feel is different. An iOS user, their feel is different. Also, their drop down, their date picker, everything is different. So we need to understand the what will required by iOS user and Android user. So we need to ensure our app is reached the minimum quality for these two users. Then version changes, I already said about that. For example, I can say permissions. Permission is a important thing. When you start on an app and that app requires camera module to open, and that we need a permission from OS, right? We need a permission to access camera. We need to permission access SMSs, and we need to permission to access location. So these permissions are requesting permissions are new for Android since the OS Marshmallow. You may see in the previous OS like KitKat or Lollipop. For that OS, there is no need of requesting permissions. So when you get an app and that app is requesting for camera, there is no problem when in KitKat. When this developer is not upgraded that code to Marshmallow or after the devices, there will be problem. When I open the same app in Marshmallow, the app will crash. So we need to make ensure our app is not crashing. Not crashing in any circumstances. For example, the user has a right to deny the permission, right? He can deny camera module from opening. But when it deny, then that page is again started loading. There is a possibility of crash. Mobile app developer may not notice that. He always think about the perfect thing, about the perfect way, because he developed the application for that purpose. So he only check about the perfect way. So he may not see the same mistake. So as a tester, he should know if we deny this permission, what will happen. So that that permission module. So there is a lot of things like that, but I just check just mention an example. Also about security, there is a lot of security changes like Face ID, fingerprint, so much modules for Android as well as iOS. But if we use a app with the sensitive data, we may need a biometric authentication or Face ID. So when you use Face ID, we need to request Face ID from the app OS. So there will be a possibility, or there is a possibility according to version, there is a possibility of crash. So you need to understand that. Also, there is a possibility of file access also. Previous OS in Android, previously there is no, we can use any files from anywhere. But now it's some limitations to access the another applications files now, but we can use, but there is limitations. So these when we request for a file permission, there may be a chance of issues. So you need to understand that. Also, some features that seeks attention, especially for fans of Android and fans of iOS. They will listen every events from this WWDC or Google I/O Summit. They will know the latest trends, latest features on these OSs. But there will be 3D touch, app clips, instant apps, dark mode, Pip mode, Google. So also client maybe have a requirement to include dark mode. Dark mode is very popular now. So when we include dark mode, there is a problem. There may be a problem of contrasting colors, because we may only design for light mode applications, but client suddenly has a requirement for dark mode. So we need for every color we need an alternative color. So for background, for light background, we need a dark background. For a dark font, we need light font. So for every box, for a navigation bar, tab bar, for everything, we need a color alternative. So we need to check while we switching into dark mode. We need to check every pages, every bottom sheet, and every other, etc. So that we can find if is there any color mismatch or anything else. Also, instant apps is app clicks all is similar. So if we need a requirement for that, we need to know how this app clips or works. Also 3D touch. Some apps you can already know for iOS, will be from iOS 6s or something. There is a 3D touch facility. So that according to clicks pressure, there is a chance to have a certain functionalities. Also, Pip mode, picture-in-picture mode is common for video streaming OTT applications like Netflix, Prime, etc. So if we are developing such an application, we need how this Pip mode work, how this Pip mode is varying from device to device and screen to screen, etc. Also, Google Assistant Siri. Now, we may get a requirement to control our application via Google Assistant or Siri. So while we can send a message via WhatsApp through Google Assistant. So some actions we can set. We can decide what actions to be there. What will be the result for there. So you need to test on Google Assistant, Siri, etc. All right, that screen changes. I already said about that issue with low screen size. When usually for a small companies, for like us, for every other companies, for startups, they may not have every device to test. They may have a standard screen size device. For me, I have a 5.5-inch display device. So I will test on that device. For every app, I will test on that device. But for when it comes to lower version screens, lower screen sizes, some data is not, some data will be breaking, some title will be breaking, navigation icons, something will miss. some images will collapse. There is a lot of problems, like, so we need how this thing will work in lower screen size and a higher screen size, and higher resolutions also. Some icons will be usually developer will use SVG or PDF icons, then that will be vector. So there is no problem. If we use PNG, we need certain slices for lower resolution to higher resolution. So you have to make ensure the icons are in higher quality. It only also in lower quality. When it comes to larger screen, other problems like structured UI and structured images, etc. So that's also a big problem. Also, portrait landscape issue. Actually, we should have for a UI designer, he should have a certain separate design for portrait landscape if they support landscape mode. If they only support portrait mode, app developer should lock the portrait mode. So there may be an issue that's usually causing that we will forget to lock the portrait mode, because we use our phone via portrait mode, so we do not bother about landscape mode. So there is an issue. Also with notch, I already said about iOS 10. There is a big change from the previous device. There is a top notch. That top notch includes the front camera and Face ID. So that notch causes problem for us. The development status bar, sometimes status bar not visible. Some icons or something will miss. So the notch, water dog, punch hole displays. We need to understand how the app will be visible for these devices. Build a better UI. Yeah. For that, you need user interface guidelines for every OS, for every app. We already have user interface guidelines for iOS and Android. You can search user in human interface guideline for iOS. You can get the link, and there will be full guideline for every what alert, how the alert will show, how the button sheets will show, how the tab bar will be there, how the navigation bar, everything. There will be a guidelines for native applications for iOS as well as for Android. There will be a guidelines. Also, we can follow a custom design pattern. There is no need to follow the entire design pattern of Android or iOS. We can choose a custom design patterns. For higher companies, they will assign a great they will assign a good UI UX designer for building a custom UI UX interface. But for low, some SMEs are not following custom UI design so much. They will copy the other designs patterns. They will analyze how that app works, this app works, and they can copy something into our application. So this design patterns is important. How this design pattern will work, how this pattern is shows. For navigation bar, there is a design pattern. Back button is here and search button is here. When we click search button, the search button will display. When we search, there will be a close button, and when we there is a lot of design patterns. For a bottom sheet, there will be stacked UI. For every tab, there will be a stack. You can refer Instagram for example. Yeah. So that design patterns, you need to understand that. Also, user experience. What is user experience? You can know what is user experience. It's actually a process of creating product or service which is meaningful and relevant experience to user. How the human perspective of about using that application. That is the importance of UX design. How if the UI is very beautiful, very good for a mobile app, when we look for that UI, we may think like better, wow, great. But when it comes to user experience, there will be bad for a feature. For every app, we need to understand the basic feature that that app deliver. For Swiggy, we know that the basic feature is delivering the food, ordering the food. For an Instagram, the basic feature is the uh, showing the feed and like and comment, the socializing us. So for that purpose, for the major purpose, if that app suitable, how the user experience deliver the the outcome of same functionality for user, that's important. So we need to observe that. We need we need to analyze the best UI UX for our application too. Our function is different because when we take Instagram as a model, but we are a food delivery application. How the user experience of Instagram is matching for us? Not a chance for that. So we need to understand what is the purpose of our application. So what will be the good UX if a developer developed according to the UI, but that UI is not meet the quality of user experience for our application, so you can report that. So you need to you can make suggestions for this will be like this is better as this. So that's important also. So a major part is identify the possible bugs. The possibility of having bugs. We may understand how this app is working, but this is not a scenario while I am typing this, or while I am clicking this. This is not the scenario. That's we can understand that, but an important thing is observing a user's mentality. Test by knowing user's mentality. That's a very quality of very good QA. So each and every product has a unique user base. Their way of their handling the apps will be different according to their that user base, according to their gender, age, location, profession. That's according to these constraints, their way of handling the application will be different. For example, how about TikTok? TikTok will be TikTok is a youngsters app. It use from age 10 to 13 maximum. That's a common user base of TikTok. So their mentality is different. They have certain creativities. There are certain views about the views about the nation, views about society. Everything is different. Their politics is different. So how they handle the app define their gender, their age. Also, gender is another important constraint. The way of using a girl an application is different from boy. Their color, their favorite color will be different. Favorite design patterns, their everything will be different. So when our app is developed for women only, so the app look suitable for women. When our app is for male girls, boys only, so app is look like that. That's important. So also the location is important. The way of handling application from Kerala is not different from way of handling by a North Indian. Also, that is different from a European, from US. Everyone is handling the application in different way. They have different opinions. They have different views, different taste. So that's important. Also, the profession for application for doctors only has it does not need a application like very funky color design, for very funky, very much very much colorful. They need data. They need their requirement done. That's all. According to profession, there's a huge difference. So you knowing user mentality, you can suggest our user base is this. You can suggest to app developer, our users base is different. This kind of people, so they need this for this. So you can suggest the better way, and you can identify the bugs according to that. Also, another point is making test cases. I think you already know that you already do that. Making text case will be very helpful for identify common bugs. For every release, we can go through the test cases, so that is there any changes happened after this update. So also it will help to other members of your team, because there will be a chance of a testing team, independent chance of a group of testers, so that every tester can be test according to the test cases. Then possible common errors. This also familiar for us, familiar for you. But let me say that validations. That's a very important thing. Validator form, validator input. When we are trying to log in to an application, there will be an email and password, right? So for an email, if email is a username, we need to validate whether the finest URL, finest email is goes through that. If we are writing something else which is not in the format of email, we need to understand that. If we are using a phone number input field, it should have certain digit limitations, because phone number has a digit limit. If that is a international phone number, there is another problem. The limit will change. So we need to understand the validations is according to our requirements. Also, there will be another important thing which we may not notice at the beginning is static data. When user started design using Figma or Sketch, anything else, user may developer may use static data at first. He did not get the API. That's a possibility. So he will use static data for any content like about us, profile or email, anything else. And he forgot to change that when app is going to ship. He will think like everything is fine, perfect, is seeing everything well, but they forgot that. But for a tester, he should know what is the how to detect a static data on whether it is a static or dynamic data. You can understand by switching users, switching profiles, using different parameters. Using after that, you can identify it is whether it is a static or dynamic data. Also, wrong placement of data is an important thing, because placement of data in wrong places, like placing first name instead of last name, email instead of phone number, those scenarios will happen. So you need to understand that. Also, another thing is wrong alignment. Alignment will be spacing and the alignment with the margin. Those things are important to look up. Also, wrong by design. After that, you need to check with design, whether it is in Photoshop, Illustrator, or Figma, Sketch. You need to check the design, and for in a mobile app is together. So that's another important thing. Also, another thing is app scrolling, smoothness, speeds, interactions, scrolling of dynamic data, and the speed of stitching the text views and screens between them. How fast that is working, how the interactions are going well. Is it going smooth, or some glitches is happening? or the another thing is API speed. I think it's not necessary to mention that, because you should know, you should already know how API speed affect the app performance. You can check by Postman or any API console how much latency is happening for API speed. Maybe developer will say, yeah, this API is this is an API side issue. I am not responsible for that. But you need to understand whether it is from app side or API side. Also caching, offline usage. Some apps need offline usages. When app turn internet off, even though the app should be visible, data should be visible. Also navigation between pages, navigation upward and backward, and so that's also important. And app minimize the performance. Like some apps should be has background activities like background downloading, background anything, background performance will be there. But we need to understand how the things will work while minimizing it and switching to another apps, and how force closing it and open again on this scenarios, how the things will work. That is an important thing. Also handling a notification. Some apps should have navigation according to the notification. While clicking the notification, app will navigate to certain page, certain data. So handling a notification, how perfect that notification handling is another important thing. Yeah, finally, mobile app developer vs QA. How the relation with mobile app developer with QA, how the things will work, and so on. Error reporting. The tool of error reporting can be anything. You can choose anything, GitLab or Notion or Asana, anything, Basecamp. That's not a matter. But the important thing is how you describe the error. How you make the developer understand why this error happened, what is the scenario, everything. You need to describe everything. You can use screenshots, screen recordings. Also, you can use the parameters used. Like if you are trying to log in into a system, you use the certain credentials. But according to in certain credentials, there will be an error. There is a possibility of error. So you can share the credentials. This credential, I used this credentials and I got this error. Yeah, so you can mention that. Also, you can mention the steps to reproduce. Some errors will be not happen directly when you click on another button and you open another page and you open a drop down, you selected something and you go to another page. In between these steps, there is a possibility of crash. Anything that may be anything or combination of anything. So you need to describe even the steps to reproduce. So a developer can easily identify that bug and he can fix it. Also, another important is error recheck. You can developer may say error is fixed. I passed then he passed that thing to QA again, but error may repeat. In certain scenario, the same error may be repeated again. So he needs you should take the list of errors and you need to check every error possibilities, and you need to identify whether this error is repeating. Then test build distribution. That is more of a developer part, but you should also have a knowledge. Testers should have also knowledge how the distribution build distribution is working. There may be, in the case of iOS, there is ad hoc build distribution and test flight build distribution and test flight public beta distribution. Everything is different and his scenario is different. So you need to understand that. Also, for Android, commonly we can share the APK of application to user. Also, that APK share via app distribution platforms like Firebase or Diavi, or etc. Also, you can share via public beta or private beta in Play Store also. So there is a possibility of test distributions. Then finally, there is a test in development, staging, production environment. There will be three environment. There's not necessary for three environment, but usually there will be two environment: development environment and production environment. For development environment, we can test any like anything. We can do any data, we can try crash our application in any way. There is no scenario of seeing that into a public person, because that is development server, and that should see only between the team. So you can test in any manner, but we need to test in production environment also, where to identify the possible bugs that may happen in production, because some test data will be there in development, but in production there will be real data, the real scenario, the real users. So the scenario of possibility of having bugs is different in production. So you need to understand that. Yeah, thank you for everyone. I hope this information will be helpful for you, and thanks for listening me. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Thanks, Shakeeb. So, anyone have any doubts? So, Shakeeb, I have some clarification. So, what is the scope of a dark mode in mobile app development in the future of dark mode?
Actually, some persons will be a fan of dark mode. Personally, I am a fan of dark mode. I use my mobile, whether it is an iPhone or Android, I am using dark mode for every application, because for me it is more easy to watch those content in dark mode. I use there will be a requirement for some clients. We need dark mode. We need to both modes. So there is a very good because now initially iOS only have this feature, but now and for every Android phone there is dark mode. So yeah, for future dark mode is I think it's very necessary.
Shakeeb,
Yeah.
I had something mentioned regarding the camera access and all. It depends on versions.
Yeah.
So I have come across few of applications where literally they do not need a camera access. Maybe they might be requiring a location access, but not a camera access. So how do you think that it is possible to break the code of a version?
How do can you say, what do you say
What
in
I was
last?
asking is it possible to break a code of the versions we get as a developer? Is it possible?
Yeah, there may be a possibility to, if you not asking requesting permissions for a version that is higher Android version and higher iOS version. So we need a thorough check in every screen in every functionality for, because if you are asking for a location permission only if the location the screen, the functionality user uses the same functionality to require location. For a not for every functionality, there not be a chance to have a location permission, right? So for the actual purpose, for only for that exact scenario, we can require the location permission, and we can deny. After that denying, you can check that if this permission is allowed or not. Only after this permission check, you can give the permission. You can give the permit exact functionality to user. Otherwise, you can show like this permission is forbidden for you because location permission is not there.
Okay. Thanks for that.
If anyone else is having any questions, you can ask.
Shakeeb, what is the difference between serverless application and server application?
Serverless application, actually you are mentioning an application without server access, right? There may be some application like calculator or some kind of application. They don't need to a server access, right?
Okay. So they're using in the application system server, like mobile database.
Yeah, mobile data. You can use mobile database as like a server. Also, there's a real-time database feature. You can see you don't need every time you don't need to access server. Sometimes I developed the application 4 years ago because they don't need they don't have internet every time. They will just open the application and sync. There is a sync option. After that sync, every data will be there on the system. So in the mobile database. After that, they don't use mobile data. They can switch. Then all applications or queries as going to this database, mobile database.
Okay, so I have one more. Some application not available in Play Store, like Dream 11's that model of gaming application. So what is this? Is any security problem? Anything?
Yes, there is a moreover the more concerned about security. The feature manufacturer who concerned about security is iPhone users, iOS, Apple actually, because they have a lot of security concerns. When we publish an app to App Store, there will be a lot of checklist. This application use this data or that data. They sell their information to anyone. They use third-party APIs. So in the case of Android, I think there is less limitations, but there will be some limitations like the similar names. If there is another application with similar name and functionality, there will be a chance of rejection. Also, some clients or developers will not publish application to Android because they are more focused into their iOS version. There's a possibility of also sometimes in the launches, in app launches, they only focus iOS version because iOS version always less difficult to produce fine and perfect application, because we don't need to check in every devices, in every in the case of Android, we need to check in Nexus, Samsung. Every OS has some custom OSs because of this custom OS difficulty in Android. We need to check in every scenario, but in iOS it is more easy because the manufacturer and the software developer is always same. So some applications are more easily in iOS actually.
Hi Shagib, I have a question actually. There's not more into technical side, so it's a perception I just want to know from your side. So the thing is that nowadays we can see that more or less everything is being automated. So we can see so many services that provide drag and drop features for creating an app. So many AI powered services that we can, if a person doesn't know how to code, even then he can create an app. So from a developer point of view as well as from a tester's point of view, what is the future of a mobile app developer in that case, and also when it comes to testing?
Actually, in mobile app, initially mobile in every platform like Android or iOS, initially the actual manufacturer or actual producer, actual company owner will produce the guidelines and software development kit for this application, how to develop this application. We cannot avoid that. We cannot develop an application to their system, to iOS. We cannot develop an iOS application without using their SDK or anything else. But what is happening is we are for making easy to the developers, to newcomers. Some companies, some organizations may create some frameworks over the native framework. Actually, the behind of all this is native. For every you may see some drag and drop functionality based app development, but behind that there is native development. So native development never ends. It's also always has a future, but we can either use of this drag and drop or hybrid framework is anyone can develop, anyone can code an application. If I have no knowledge about native Swift or Objective-C, Kotlin, etc., but I can develop using my JavaScript skill using the React Native. So we can use Xamarin, we can use any platform, but behind all of this there is native. So to make finite applications, make perfect application without any glitch, best solution is always native. But there is a good opportunity to developers for React Native or any other platform, because a lot of for a company perspective, actually for paying for an Android and iOS developer, a native iOS developer and Android developer is costly, because there will be need of two developers, and two developers should know about the entire native functionality and entire native coding also. But for a company, the hiring a React Native developer is more easy to ship application better and quicker. So there is even though there is a lot of platform arises, not native will be always there.
Okay, thank you. And also there is one more concern that I have. So nowadays the new MacBooks that came with the M1 chip, that actually brings out a disruption in the field, like bringing in mobile chip into a computer, and the performance that is, we cannot imagine the kind of performance that an Intel based Mac gives, and also a Mac with an M1 chip. So there is a like for an app that is developed based on Intel. It is being run on the M1 chip using Rosetta, I think. So such kind of translators in using in the future for any other cross platform kind of a thing. Is it possible that that is also a future now?
Yeah, definitely, because when you are developing an application to iPhone or iOS, you can make it available in MacBook also. So it's according to a MacBook user, you can access iPhone application to using your MacBook application. I am a M1 user. I have a MacBook Air with M1 chip. For that, since the beginning, but it's based on its performance, I am very much satisfied because the processors are running so fast. Compared to Intel, it is more good performance. But there is some Intel based application won't work in M1, but it's a future actually. Definitely it's a future, but Android always there. But in the case of MacBook user, you can use iOS, MacBook, and an ecosystem with these devices. You can. It's a very good choice actually.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Shakeeb, this is Adhya. So my question is very general question. Means since you are in the industry since past 6 years, maybe out of your experience you can answer like means whether means more customers are into developing the web application or into mobile application. Means which will be beneficial for the customers, means profitable for the manufacturer. Means nowadays who is more approached?
Manufacturer, you meaning about clients or app developer?
Pardon?
Are you mentioning about client or app developer?
Client. About
client.
the client.
Yeah, definitely. Mobile app is for everything. We are always in a hurry actually. We can manage anything using mobile is always a better option for any client. Because you can imagine that according in the application like Swiggy, you can use a mobile application. By using mobile app, you can manage the orders that coming to your restaurant. You can sell the orders. But even if you are not in the kitchen or not in the office or front office, you can manage that. That is a very good opportunity for us. Our application also have for managers. We have a mobile application so that they can see, they can analyze their bookings, profits, revenue from on the go. So he can actually manage multiple business at a time, because he can manage on another from another location. He can see what is in his company. So yeah, definitely it's a future. From my beginning, mobile app is a luxury one. Actually, users not prefer mobile application development. That's after every web application, everything. Then only there is a possibility of mobile app. But now it's thing is different.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, team, do you have any further questions?
Okay.
Yeah, so I hope there is no more questions. So we can wind up this, and really thank you for this great informative session, because you have gone through all of this area point of views, because you have said about the Android and different operating systems, and talked about the new frameworks and its trends, and also you have gone through what the difference between mobile apps and the web application. So means most all of the areas you have covered, and the advantages for the testers, what to test, where they need to focus on testing, and what are the means how they should provide suggestion based on how they should understood the errors. Means all the points you have covered. So I hope this session was really informative, and all of the team members have enjoyed this session. And thank you so much for this great session, and hope more session will be coming from your side.
Yeah, we'll say about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, team.
Okay.
So we can wind up the session.
Yes. Family.